So I think there has been a change in the industry where people had been focusing on building digital products, right? So taking a manual process and automating it. And that had its time. But now we're trying to figure out how do you not just build digital products, but intelligent products. So how can you leverage your data or some information in your company to be able to make recommendations and go beyond just having insight into something actionable that the software is helping you a bit more. So this is a problem where people don't know yet how to leverage their data. They don't know how to think about the data as part of the software. And I've written software for 25 years. And now the data we create is more powerful than the software that creates it. And we're thinking about how do you actually build intelligent software, not just digital software. So it's trying to help people figure out a way to leverage AI and leverage their data in a way that they find confusing, but can have a pretty big change overnight. I had this idea where we go to, so I'm from Chicago, blue collar, industrial city, lots of those manufacturing companies. And I thought it would be interesting if I could walk around a rail yard with a data scientist, a machine learning engineer, a strategist, and say, let me just walk around and see what there is to see around here. This is a company that already has one of the best track records in the industry in terms of repairing rail cars. The minute the car goes back on the rails, obviously it makes more money. So if you can shorten the repair cycle, the rent is reduced. You start earning rent by being back on the rails, and the revenue increases. So our whole thought was, could we walk around your rail yard, get like the steel-toed boots and the hats, and walk around your rail yard with an engineer and designer and data scientist, and just think about a different way to repair rail cars? It was interesting because this is already a company that does it like the best in the industry. And it takes about 100 days to repair a rail car in the industry. They do it in 64 days. And we're like, what if you could do it in 54 days? What if there's a way we could just think about the world differently? People who are immersed in data and technologists see the world differently than people who are involved in rail car repair. And so this was an idea to walk around, and so we got the steel-toed boots and the hats and walked around the yard and came back with a whole bunch of different ways of running the yard, thinking about digital twins and setting up cameras and drones to fly overhead to map the yard, things that rail car companies don't typically think about. They said, we want you to present to the board. And it was that Hollywood moment where like you get around this big oak table, and we said, yeah, we think there's this way we can change the way this rail yard operates. And they were willing to listen to the ideas. And this is, thinking about high technology, but when you don't talk about agile software and data and digital twins, when you talk about, no, we're gonna talk about rail cars and maintenance and how do we reduce cycle time. That they understood. It was a thing they can understand. If you have a real world problem, then you can apply, data solutions and AI on top of that. In this case, we talked to a rail yard company about rail yard problems. And the team that got to do it loved it because they got to solve like a real world challenge. And then the company got to see a whole new way of operating, something they wouldn't have thought about otherwise. The industry right now is in a weird space where people are hearing a lot of buzz around, I need to be doing something. It went from being digital transformation to being, oh my God, AI. I have to do something with AI. But they don't know what to do. They don't know what that means. They're just getting a directive from their board of do something with AI. And so what we're trying to do, as much as I am a technologist at heart, is putting the technology on the shelf, not getting too excited about the solution yet, and think about what's the problem you're trying to solve. If you get them really being able to pinpoint, like this is costing me money, this is a problem with adoption or cost or utilization, then you can start thinking about how do I deploy AI. So I think the problem with the industry is people getting all excited and hyped about this thing, this tool, this technology they've heard about, and they're not thinking about the practical problems to solve first. That's way more interesting. This is design thinking 101. Don't tell me about the solution, back up, tell me about the problem. But design thinking tells you focus on the problem. So this is an interesting pivotal moment for our business as well. We've been in business for 25 years, and generally speaking, we were generalists. We worked in pharma, healthcare, retail, nonprofit, fintech. We did lots of different things. But we're finding for us to be able to come in with a really helpful advice, we need to have much more deeper vertical experience, which is a thing as a consultant. Generally, the benefit is that variety of projects, you get to bounce around, see lots of different things. But for us to really help out our clients, we need to come in with more of an understanding of their industry, their perspective. And so the thing that's changing for us is going this kind of wider focus and to be really narrow and say, we're gonna own this industrial area. Like that blue collar side of Chicago is where we're spending like all of our time. It is a different space to be in to get that deep into a niche. And rather than going to a Ruby on Rails conference, it's like, let's go to a trucking conference. Rather than going to this technology space, let's go learn about rail cars. Then you can talk in the same vocabulary as your customer, and you're not talking about AI and the hype train, you're talking about rail cars, you're talking about trucking, you're talking about, honestly, the biggest thing that's hitting right now is the skilled labor shortage. There are so many people who've been in the industry for a long time who are retiring. All this institutional knowledge is leaving. New people are coming in, really hard to retain them. It's causing a massive skill gap in the company that you can actually solve with technology, can help a lot with that. But if you talk about technology, they don't understand. If you talk about skilled labor shortage, they instantly understand, and they know that you know what they're talking about. So that's the pivot for us, is going from being a generalist to being focused on this industry where we can have a bigger impact in that vertical.